Well, hello. It's nearly been 2 whole months since I uploaded anything to this channel. I always seem to take some sort of break after download anyway. Each year I seem to see a pattern of me doing this. I definitely get the festival blues. You know, Download, Slam Dunk, they were the big things for me this year, and once all that ended, I sort of just had complete brain fog. I ran out of ideas, ran out of motivation every time I tried to make a video, because I did try and make videos back in June. I would get set up, I'd put my camera on, and I'd just feel crap and unmotivated and like, why am I doing this? What's the point? Does anyone really care? You know, all the negative thoughts were coming in, and then I just couldn't stop that from happening. My mental health just sort of went down a lot of summer this year. So for most of the summer, I just thought I'd take a step back from doing this for a bit. If I'm not in a really good headspace, then I don't want to be making videos. I don't want to be completely fake on camera. I like put on this persona, which, you know, we all do it. You've got to make the videos somewhat entertaining, but I really just couldn't bring myself to do it this summer. So I took the step back. So yeah, it's nice to be back. I hope some people are still here. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for being patient with me. I'm going to really try and make a go of this again now. Let's just get right into the video. This is going to be my top 5 albums turning 10 years old in 2024. At number 1, I've got Restoring Force by Of Mice and Men. Now, this is easily my favourite album this band have put out today. In my opinion, it is the definition of a near-perfect metalcore album. It's pretty much flawless, actually. This album features some of the band's biggest singles to date, such as Bones Exposed, Would You Still Be There, Identity Disorder, Another You. This was also the first Of Mice and Men album to feature clean vocalist Aaron Pauley, who then obviously took over as the band's frontman in the future from Austin Carlile. And while this band might not be as popular, as known, as up there in the scene as they once were with Austin Carlile as the frontman, they're still doing great stuff to this day. But I'd say this album was definitely the highest point in this band's career, and for a good reason. At number 2, I've got Black Veil Brides, the 4th album by the band Black Veil Brides. This album is easily one of my favourite eras of this band's career. Another bunch of great songs on this album, such as Heart of Fire, Goodbye Agony, Crown of Thorns, that amazing guitar solo in Walk Away, and of course one of the fan favourites that most BVB fans will know, Faithless, another one that they continue to still play live to this day. It's just another really memorable album for me, a lot of nostalgia, a lot of memories, you know, being at college, listening to this, walking in the park, headphones on, hoodie up, skinny jeans so tight I can hardly breathe. You had to be there. And this album is always an absolute joy for me to go back to. At number 3, I've got The Grey Chapter. Slipknot, obviously. I think it'd be criminal to not include this album on a list like this from this specific year. This is definitely one of the most iconic, memorable albums from 2014 for metal fans. While I wasn't a big fan of Slipknot back then, I've certainly grown to appreciate them a lot more in recent years, and going back and listening to this one, in my opinion, it's definitely one of Slipknot's best albums. Again, featuring some of their biggest and most known singles to date, The Devil in I, Custer, The Negative One, and Kill Pop. This album really is just straight up bangers and fully deserves to be in this list. At number 4, I've got White Noise by Paris. Now, I'm not even sure how I discovered this album, because this isn't the usual thing that I would listen to. Although it's still full of alt-rock, pop-rock sort of vibes, it's not like anything else that I was listening to back then, and it sort of introduced me to that style of music. It wasn't in the rock, metalcore, screamo, emo sort of, you know, it stood out to all of that, but was still extremely catchy, and I think that's why I was so drawn to it. In my opinion, this is also the best thing that Paris have done in their career. I'm not really a big fan of what they're doing these days, but this album, without a doubt, is really great, and it features a lot of their biggest songs, such as White Noise, My House, St. Patrick's, Smoke, Fire, Holy. I can pretty much promise that there's at least one song on this album that you will find catchy. I'm a sucker for nostalgia, I love nostalgia, and music is definitely one of the biggest things that triggers those sort of emotions in me, and I know that's the same for a lot of people as well. And finally, number 5 on this list, it's Lost Forever, Lost Together by Architects. I guarantee when most people think of Architects, they think of this album, this artwork. Everything about this album is just iconic. It is one of Architects' best. It's definitely a massive fan favourite amongst thousands of Architects fans. And while it's not my favourite album, or even in my top 3 anymore, I can completely appreciate why fans love this one so much. Gravedigger, Naysayer, Broken Cross, great singles that still mean a lot to a lot of people. People always want these songs to be played. And for a lot of us, this is the one that got us into the band in the first place. I'd never heard of Architects before this album. This was the one that really introduced me to the band, that got me into them for the first time. Their music has done a lot for me over the last 10 years, and this album was definitely a massive turning point for this band, where they suddenly blew up a lot more, they became a lot more known, and from then they've only gotten bigger and bigger with each album release, so it really is another iconic and special one. Basically, 2014 was just an amazing time for metal, emo, rock music. If you enjoyed this one, please give it a thumbs up, you know the drill. If you're brand new here, you've never seen my channel before, then I make a bunch of music, festival, concert content, festival and concert vlogs, album rankings, music rankings, all that sort of good stuff. If you're into any of that, please feel free to subscribe, and I promise I'll try and deliver a bunch more of that content over the next few months. Thanks again for watching, it's good to be back doing this again, and I'll see you all again real soon.